Congressman, first, your reaction to Speaker Pelosi's announcement today. Good idea?
Yes, Nicole, it's not, what we wanted. We wanted an independent bipartisan commission, but it's what we need to do when Republican senators are not willing to really, show unity as an antidote to what happened on the 6th. So we're going to find out, who financed all of the outreach to the insurrectionists who showed up. What was Donald Trump doing as he learned that this was happening? Why wasn't the Guard there? We're going to find out all of that now. But again, it didn't have to be this way. But right now you see a Republican Party that is rolling with the cop killers and not standing with the cops. And so it's going to be incumbent on this committee to find out what happened.
You are standing with Officer Fanone in his efforts to get a face-to-face meeting with Kevin McCarthy. Where does that stand?
I actually just was texting with Officer Fanone. He put in another scheduling request. He's put in so many requests now, and he told me he sent that again this morning. And he said it feels like Groundhog Day because he just wants to meet with Kevin McCarthy. He thinks it'd be easier to meet with Kevin McCarthy than the 21 individual meetings he'd have to take with the people who voted against giving police a gold medal. He thought McCarthy's the leader of the party. If he could convey to McCarthy what happened that day, maybe McCarthy could talk every member into supporting a gold medal to honor those officers. McCarthy, of course, has refused to do that. Look, this is not about politics. Officer Fanone and so many others put their lives in front of ours so that Kevin McCarthy could go to a secure, safe location on January 6th. We owe it to them to look them in the eye and give them our thanks.
What do you think Kevin McCarthy will do if subpoenaed by the Select Committee investigating the insurrection?
Be a weasel. I mean, that's what he always does, Nicole. We considered this during impeachment. We had learned that McCarthy had a sense of what Donald Trump's state of mind was on January 6th when Donald Trump was complaining to McCarthy that, McCarthy didn't do enough to defend him when McCarthy wanted Trump to call off the mob. But McCarthy wasn't waving his hand saying, I'm going to come in and help you understand. And he flipped from what he said in the days after January 6th, condemning Donald Trump, to going down to hanging out with Donald Trump at Mar-a-Lago. So, yeah, I mean, he's going to be a weasel. And so, it's important to really find out from other witnesses around him who may be more forthcoming just exactly what Kevin McCarthy and Donald Trump knew.
Well, I mean, to turn this into a serious line of questioning with you, I mean, have you learned from impeaching the ex-president twice how to deal with evasion? I mean, will you do things differently? Because, I think Don McGahn was finally on Capitol Hill more than 2 years after the Mueller report wrapped up, at a point when his findings didn't have any, ramifications on any attempts to hold the ex-president accountable. I mean, what will you do what have you learned from Donald Trump evading justice and accountability? What will you do if Kevin McCarthy refuses to cooperate?
We can't do enough, Nicole. What I learned was that we would regret not doing too much with Donald Trump in oversight, but as we learned more as he was out of office, we would regret that we never did enough. And so that's in part, why I have filed a lawsuit against Donald Trump and others, is to make sure that we have, accountability, and that in a lawsuit like that, I wouldn't have the pressures that the Senate impeachment trial had as far as timing and subpoenas. I am personally going to be relentless in my own pursuit of accountability and justice. And I hope the Select Committee also, I know under Speaker Pelosi, she is going to get to the bottom of this. We're not going to let them put us in a situation where this could happen to our country again.
Speaking of consequences, the wheels of justice take a long time to get going, but they seem to be rolling over some of the biggest purveyors of the big lie. Rudy Giuliani now no longer lawfully permitted to practice law in the state of New York. What is it too late to try to reach those who've been radicalized by the big lie? Or what is the sort of strategy to make sure people know that once these lies ended up in a court or among people that could do something about it, the ex-president's case, his side, had no bearing?
The president's former lawyer, Michael Cohen, is now out of prison and has, come to Jesus and is being truthful about what happened. His former lawyer is now no longer a lawyer. I hope people who follow Donald Trump recognize, there's no good ending to this. There's been no good ending for anyone who's been around him, and there's no good ending for America if the leaders in Congress like Kevin McCarthy are going to continue to defend him. And I hope that's the message that they see in Rudy Giuliani finally losing his law license.